unless I really know what I need and I really know what you offer, probably it's not going to work. So, what you're saying, my solution to you is first focus on describing very well, so such a 7-year-old can understand exactly what you do, okay, and exactly what's included. And a customer that wants to test it, he will ask for it. But if you offer the test, and this is the thing on sales, if you offer the test first and love me next, probably everybody will test it, and you're going to get very little love. Alright? So the idea here is to avoid this, to avoid cannibalization. And that's a problem that every single company has when you have one product, one price, and a discount. You create cannibalization. So, price should not be based on cost. Never, ever, ever. What's the role of cost in pricing? What is the role of my costs in pricing? I'm sorry? No.
Base.
Base, my floor. My floor. Very simple. If it costs 100 and I sell it at 90, I automatically became UNICEF. You understand? So the role of my cost is to figure out what my bottom is, not to construct the price based from my bottom, and that's what everybody does. And I want to explain what we do. So, value-based price, it should be the way. Your price scheme should be based on value. Your pricing options should be based on value. And what is that? It's very simple, guys. Number one, you need to think like your customers think. Your customers, not you. I call it belly button analysis. Everybody looks at their belly button first, and then they figure out what the customer wants. No, you figure out what the customer wants and need first, and you think of like them, and then you establish prices that captures that value of that particular customer. So, if I'm the lady that is selling umbrellas in the middle of the street, I can focus on my product, and most of you are focused on your product. Wrong. Wrong. You want to make money? Wrong. You should focus on the customer. Focus on the customer first. I've seen startups that have years in developing their tools because they have a belly button approach. And until the artist, who is the owner, knows exactly what he wants, or when he's completely satisfied with his product, now he goes to sell, and guess what? Not everybody likes Dali or Picasso. So, much more practical approach is get together with the customer. Study your customer. And I'm going to show you a process quickly as to how to do this. The perfect explanation as to how to establish a price is that these represent your customers, every single one with a different set of values and needs. And that's your pricing scheme. You put them all on the same fence. You put them all in the same court. And then if you want to actually stimulate this little skinny cow here, and let's say that this skinny cow likes apples, and you put some apples here, this fat one will come here and eat it. That's the problem with pricing and discounts. So, what do? We actually create different quarrels for different clients. We segment our clients. We study each one of these cows, and we figure out what they want, what they need, and in the absence of my product or service, where else do they go? Alright? So the idea is to avoid cannibalization. Why? Because if I, now in this case, I want to actually give this little cow here some apples, I know this fat one will not jump the fence and come here and eat it. And that's a problem. So,
what we're talking about mainly works well in B2B businesses. And it's harder in B2C. You know, B2B, for example, in software products, you just speak with different customers, and according to what you listen, you can price it. And price it differently. If you're selling to a small company, price it low. To a big company, because they have more muscle, price it high. But you know, when you look at the example of Wong, which you have a consumer market which is so big, it becomes a little bit more tricky. So I have comments on that.
Absolutely, it doesn't get more complex as to the logic, it just gets more homework you need to be doing. But let me just give you an example. In the movie theaters, at least in the US, if you're a student, you show your student ID and you get a different price, right? Right? If you're a retired person and you're over 65 and you go to the same movie theater and you show your ID and you show the person that you're over 65, you get a different price, right? If I'm actually behind the line of that person and say, hey, you know what? It's $50 and you gave that person $5, I want that. They will tell me, show me your student ID. I don't have it. Well, show me you're over 65. I am not. Well, what happens with my price? You understand? So,
But in that example, you're walking all over 65 in the same bucket, but probably they have different incomes, different psychological profiles,
yes, that's why you need to segment, and that's the importance of segmentation. The example I give you is, it's just a different, what's the name of it? Psychographic segmentation, I think it's called. But the idea is that you need to segment. Now, let's say that the movie theater says, everybody tomorrow, Thursday, will get 25% discount on the movie theater. Now, I'm going to get a lot of people going into the movie theater, right? But what happened with the movie lover who actually would have gone anyway? Well, the guy was going to take the advantage first because he loves movies. How about ladies? Ladies understand this concept very well in the shopping mall with Victoria's Secret, right? So on retail, you have the same. It's just that the hard part, guys, is that you need to think about your customer. And for some reason, most companies don't want to think about their customers. They want to think about their products. And that's why they fail. So, I created this called Giving Price, or the GIP. And the GIP is just a pricing methodology that captures both value to create price and profits. Now, this is the issue, guys. You guys will have, if you take the analysis as any other business, you will come with a scale of decisions. You will need to figure out what you want, profits or market share. And whomever you talk to, they will tell you that if you want market share, what do you need to do with your price? You need to lower it. If you lower it, what happens with your market share? It goes up. It works. It won't. Okay, but if you focus on profit, you're going to need to increase your price. And if you increase your price, what happens with your market share? You're less competitive, it will go down. So you see, this is how they work. But there's a better way. There's a way where you can actually both increase your profits through better pricing strategies and increase your market share because you're just hitting more customers on the street. Pretty much is the structure that I do. I usually split the project in two, which is called Logic Flow, and I'm going to show you Logic Flow today, which is actually first work on your strategy, and then you figure out base prices, your from. And after you figure out your from, you study your clients, and based on your clients, you start creating a pricing tree of options. So that you have a client, and the client says, you know what, but your tool is too cheap. Your tool actually doesn't have the features they need. I have the features for that. And I have a price for that. Or, you know what, I like your software, but I cannot pay it. I have a pricing plan for you. Or, you know what, I'm a 65-year-old guy that loves you, but I don't have the same income that I had before. I have a price for you. That's the concept of a value-based price. So actually that scale gets thrown out the window. Sorry guys, I didn't translate that in English. But usually all those, you have about 52 pricing strategies there. That doesn't mean that obviously all 52 apply to your business. But definitely there's one thing I can do. I can take any product or service on any environment, B2B, B2C, B2R, and I can grab that one product, one price that the customer had, and I can create about 13 different prices for 13 different segments with different profits, obviously. But at the same time, what I'm doing is that I'm allowing different customers to buy from me and not cannibalize my product. In other words, if I'm Mercedes, I'm not gonna sell the Mercedes E500. I'm gonna create the Series C, the Series B, the Series A. I'm gonna create special packages for particular customer segments and so on. And that's what they do. I'll give you here an example of a B2R concept, which is actually a publishing company. Same book. If I print that book, I would have a price. Maybe I would have two prices, right? Retail and wholesale. I can create a value-based price, a base price, and then from these I can start offering options. What happens if the guy doesn't want to buy the whole book? I can sell you a chapter. I can sell you an ebook, a video book, an audiobook. I can actually, if this is college, I can make the book with the exercises and then I can sell you the book with the cheat sheet and with the answers. Or I can sell you a book as a workbook for the main book. Alright? And I can give you obviously this sort of discounts too, depending on the customer. I grab one product and I give a few modifications and then I actually have different products for different customers. In fact, anybody here that studied abroad, went to college abroad? I went to college abroad, and when I was in the US, books were expensive, $120 a book when I was in college, right? And a lot of people would actually go to College Town and get into these used bookstores where other students would have sold their book. Have you seen that? You can buy a used book, yeah? Well, that cannibalized the publishing business. Because for the publisher, he publishes one book, and that book is gone. Probably is gonna pass by 5-6 hands before it gets thrown out. So that's money that